I'm 4 years old, and I just want to play hopscotch. I've been asking everyone, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, but no one has the time. And besides, they all say it's gonna rain anyways. So I come up here to my room and very quietly get out this pack of chalk. And I kneel down and I begin to draw. Then I look around for something to throw. Truth is, it doesn't actually matter where it lands because I don't actually know how to play the game. I've just seen other kids throwing around a rock and jumping around squares with numbers drawn inside of them, so that's what I do. But I guess I'm pretty loud, because pretty soon my dad bursts in to find out what the hell is going on in here, and he looks down and sees the chalk I've scribbled all over this nice, clean floor, and you might think he'd start yelling or something. But instead, he's just like, mija, what is this? Side note, he's not Latino, but he picks up phrases from my mom. And I'm all like, it's hopscotch, clearly. And he finds this both hilarious and impressive, and calls out to my mom, yelling, Senny! That's her name. We got a little, vaquera on our hands. Vaquera means cowgirl, as in I'm some kind of renegade doing my own thing, and he's proud. Then, against all odds, he gets down on his hands and knees himself, takes a piece of chalk out of the box, and fills in the numbers that I missed. And we spend the next hour or so just tossing around that rock and jumping around my room while the rain comes down outside. And despite my mom's protest, I kept chalking at my floor for the next few years until she finally put her foot down and convinced my dad to carpet the whole thing instead. Eventually, he tore up the old carpeting and put in this new stuff instead. But, that was later. Years later. After my mom had moved out. Don't answer that.
Celestine, get down here. It's almost 6 o'clock.
Oh, 6 o'clock. That's important because it's when my dad comes home. He likes everything on the table set and ready to go. Two little siblings around here somewhere, Joshua and Estella, but it's more cost effective if you all just imagine them. I want to say I'm 13 now. What do you think, Mom? Is it 2005?
What?
It's 2005 and life is good now, right? I'm getting better with exercise. I can do 500 crunches in a row now, and 100 push-ups military style. We don't have the money for boxing lessons, but I'm learning about pain tolerance and mental discipline from books, so that's gotta be like 30% of the battle right there. And now my dad's about to come home. And we're all gonna eat together and talk about our days. Later, Josh and Ezzy will probably fall asleep by the fireplace. And my dad will carry them upstairs, one over each shoulder, before coming back down and watching late night TV with me. Dad!
Dry. Thank you, hon.
Things are going to change though. First, my parents are going to split up. And my mom is going to take me, Josh, and Ezzy with her to a small apartment on the other side of town. First, we'll come over here 1 week in a month and the occasional weekday after school. But eventually, I'll barely come over here at all. That's one thing, but it's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing happens on December 13th, 2007. I've had 2 birthdays and now I'm 15.
One, pass it down. This is what I like to call a family tree project, because for the rest of the year, I want y'all to start looking a little more closely into the stories of your own family. Talk to family members, as many as you can. Ask them questions about their lives and how they came to be where they're at today. The idea is to learn more about those who came before you and who they are. So in turn, you can learn more about who you are. Carissa.
Okay, what if your family's boring?
You still have to do the assignment. I am, however, leaving the format up to you.
I'm doing a book.
All right, Carissa knows what she's doing. Everyone else take a second to look over the assignment. Let me know if you have any questions. As it says up top, it will not be due until the end of the school year, but I will be checking in with you regularly. So if you decide to wait until May to start it, I will know, and you will suffer. Your grade will suffer. That's what I meant to say.
Hey, wanna come over to my house after school?
I have to stop at the library.
After.
Okay. I have to ask my mom first though.
Yes.
I thought Carissa would be my best friend for life. But what do you say to someone if you know it's gonna be the last day you ever see them again? Hey. You're my best friend for life.
Okay.
Why do people always buy into that stuff? You have to know where you come from in order to know who you are. Like, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. It's like, bitch, it doesn't matter where my family went 500 years ago. I'm going to KFC. Girl, what are you so obsessed with in that book? I thought Miss H was going to get on you for sure. She saw you looking at it in class today. If you didn't have straight A's, she probably would have taken it and locked it in her desk. Whether it is exams.
arms.
For brother in arms, harnessing pain and fear to become the ultimate alpha male. What the fuck is that?
It's
Oh my god, Celestine, are you trying to become a dominatrix or something?
no, it's just like about how to become more tough.
Through harnessing.
Look, just because you don't know how to read doesn't mean you have to take your frustrations out on me.
I read.
Yams.
You are holding it at an awkward angle. Great.
So, you read, huh? What are you reading nowadays?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Why?
You'll laugh at me.
I might. Come on, tell me.
Okay. You know the Harry Potter books?
Yeah?
Well, my cousin has a few of them, and I started reading the first one. It's pretty good, actually.
That's cool. I mean, they're for like 10-year-olds.
I know, but check this out. I found it at a little store yesterday. It's a fidget spinner. You can bounce it on your fingers, see?
Oh, that's cool.
It's supposed to look like a snitch. Anyway, it's good for ADHD.
You have ADHD.
I don't know. Probably not. But my mom said when I was born, I shot out like a grenade, bounced into a trash can, and it rolled away, and she had to pull me back with my umbilical cord, so there's probably something going on up here.
That's not true.
It is. Ask her. But first, call your mom and ask if she'll let you come over to my house. I got a ton of makeup at the mall. You can finally let me do your makeover.
Okay. Do you have change? Thanks.
¿Qué pasó?
Mommy, it's Celestine. Carissa wants to know if I can come over to her house today for a bit. Is that all right?
No.
Sorry, Carissa. My mom's
Mentirosa. Tell it like it really is.
Mommy, it's Celestine. Carissa wants to know if I can come over to her house for a bit. Is that all right?
Yeah, okay.
But what about Josh and Ezzy? Probably need me to watch them, right?
No, we're doing fine.
What about dinner? You probably need help cooking it, right?
Mira, mija, if you don't want to go, then don't go. Just don't blame it on me, okay?
Fine. Sorry, Carissa. My mom says that I have to go home.
Okay, well, another time then. I should probably get going. I was supposed to be home before 5.
It's 4:59.
I have this dream sometimes that I'm under a very heavy weight. I can't breathe. And I keep hearing this sound, like shovels hitting dirt. I try to scream, but there's no air. I move my fingers, trying to claw my way out, but I keep knocking against something hard and rough. Tree bark. It's been 3 months since I walked home with Carissa, and no one's seen her since. Her mom came by that night, and eventually the police were called. They questioned me, but there was nothing I could say. I just keep thinking, there has to be some explanation, right? I mean, she didn't just up and vanish. What did she say about the KFC? Maybe she did stop by there, and maybe she met up with someone, and
Celestine!
What?
Celestine!
What?
Your teacher just called and she said you haven't turned in any progress report on a family tree project? Are you supposed to be interviewing me or something?
Maybe.
What?
Yes, I said yes.
Then stop doing sit-ups and come talk to me while I work on some of these clothes. Now! Don't you need something to write with?
So, where did you grow up?
In Mexico, Culiacán, Sinaloa.
And why did you come here?
Well, my dad had come to the US when I was little. And he got a job working at a restaurant. Eventually, he was able to open his own cafe. And that's when he sent for me and my mom. Are you writing this down? I was 12 when I came here. And 2 years later, I met your dad. He was a little older than me, and he would always come to the cafe all the time. I would be at the register, and he'll enter and order an espresso, and he'll come in with an armload of books. He'll sit in the corner reading for hours. I don't know what kind of 16-year-old does that. I guess he always thought he was going to be somebody special. Uh-huh. He was cute and nice, formal, but nice. At that point, I didn't know anything about his life or how things could get when he would get...
Mom! I don't need everything, okay? Just like the important stuff. When did you get married?
And then my quinceañera was coming up.
Jesus.
And suddenly, I didn't have a dance partner because the boy who was supposed to dance with me canceled me 2 days before. I wanted to ask your dad so badly, but I knew he wouldn't understand because it's not part of his culture. He saw me at the cafe though, trying not to cry. He seemed so concerned and asked me what was wrong, and I told him. And he just listened and didn't say much. So I went back doing my work.
Great story, Mom.
And then I was panicking my way through my quinceañera because then I'll have to dance with my cousin Eddie who doesn't know any of the steps. So as the lights go down, we get into positions and I see this tall, handsome man walking across the room. And I realize it's your dad. He took my hand and somehow knew exactly what to do. it was a miracle. Later on that day, I found out that he went to my best friend Analia's house and pressured her into teaching him all the dance steps the night before. He was such a nice guy, very sweet. Not until we got married that things started to change. The neighbors would call the cops when the fights got too loud. I'm sure you remember that.
In the event of a home invasion or an attack of any kind, it's important to
Because
know
of a
how to
broken
react if you
finger.
find yourself suddenly in a great deal
A
of pain.
broken hand.
Can you still be of any use if you
broken
punch in the
tooth.
face or stab, for
I
instance?
always thought it was my fault.
That's where the exercises in this book will come in handy.
And then the
Sticking
incident
a
with
pin
the-
under your nail or having a partner punch you in the ribs. Either way, the trick is the same: to accept the
And then
pain
the migraines got
and
so
let it become
bad.
a part of you, rather than
I had
something
to
to
get
be
injections
avoided
on my
and
face.
feared. Do all of this, and eventually your weakness will be replaced with strength.
She didn't write any of that down.
You know, your mother has a way of bending the truth. She's very good at that. I'm not saying she lies. I'm just saying that every time she recalls the past, I always end up looking like the bad guy. I mean, you remember that one time she pulled a knife on me?
Yeah.
She came at me like a windmill. Shoo, 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 shoo. I couldn't explain the cuts on my arms. I had to tell my boss I had to run with a pit bull.
So, what do you think about,
What?
me moving back in with you?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Dad, I'm 15. I'm not some weak little girl anymore. I can take care of myself. I'm probably stronger than most of the guys in my class.
I believe you.
Then what's the big deal?
Look, your mom moved you and your siblings out of the house for a reason. Alright? That reason is still in play.
Well, if you and Grandpa had allowed me to go hunting with you more often, I'd probably know how to use a gun by now. And then you wouldn't have to see me as someone who needed to be saved.
10, 17, 18, 30, and 34.
The body of a woman was found this morning in Kletch Park in the Milwaukee suburb of Glendale. Officers were called to the area just before 9 a.m. when a park employee discovered the body in a stretch of woods along the Milwaukee River. Authorities have not yet identified the woman, but they say the cause of death appears to be homicide. In other news, a plane crashed.
But about that school project?
Mm-hmm.
You'll still let me interview you one of these days, right? When things settle down at work.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get this one?
Mm-hmm.
Dad,
Mm.
I feel like something bad is going to happen. Do you hear that?
Listen, I gotta go.
Okay.
Hey, ask your grandfather about that interview thing. I mean, he's got all the time in the world, right?
I will.
Rita. That was Michael's mother. She always complained that I turned the kids against her, but the truth is, she did that to herself. I mean, who made Michael change the sheets and scrub the floors in a nurse's uniform when he was bad? A female nurse's uniform, with the white dress and the little white hat and everything. That was Rita, not me. And the further truth is that, well, you know, as the saying goes, may the best man win, or woman. So in love as it is in life. But when you're going through a divorce, the gloves come off. There isn't any time for niceties and, oh, so you want to take the kids away from me? Go right ahead. No. It's war. You fight with everything you've got. And in this case, what I had was the ability to teach Michael that his mom was, well, not exactly dumb. Let's just say a little unhinged. A little lacking in the common sense department. Oh, and if he stayed with her, it no doubt would start rubbing off on him. I didn't say it straight out or anything, but it was implied. A little eye roll here, a little smile behind her back to signify an inside joke between me and the kids whenever she did something awkward or nonsensical. It's easy. And the fact is, society has already given us a leg up on this. I mean, by the time they're already 8 years old, all boys know that the best they can do is be a man. And the worst they can do is act like a girl. Run like a girl, throw like a girl, scream like a girl, cry like a girl. And some of the girls, they get this too. The smart ones. They learn to keep their emotions in check. Rita never mastered that art. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, don't you, honey?
Yeah.
You were always Michael's daughter through and through. Remember that time you fell out of the tree at the cabin? You were, what, 5 or 6 years old? You snapped your wrist and didn't say a word till we found you, bandaging yourself up, bones sticking out and stuff. And that friend of yours at the time, she cried when she slipped off the rock into the pond and didn't even get hurt. We made so much fun of her. I don't think she ever came back to the cabin with us after that. So is that it for the questions?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I think that's everything.
Why don't you read it back to me? I can rephrase anything that doesn't sound so good.
I don't think that's necessary. I think you phrased everything really good.
Suit yourself. Aren't you forgetting something?
Thanks, Grandpa.
That's Michael's kid.
What am I now? 7 years old? 8? I'm looking for my dad. I find him out behind the house, digging a hole at the base of a tree. I sit down to watch. He doesn't notice me here.
Oh, hey. I didn't see you there.
What are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing? I'm digging a hole.
Why, though?
Hey, listen, Celestine, why don't you go back inside and see if your mom needs help with anything, all right? You don't want to. All right, Just don't get too close. I don't want you falling in like last time and breaking your wrist. Your mother will have you by the throat. Not funny.
What's in there?
Just stuff.
What?
Jesus Christ, honey. Look, I can't tell you everything, okay? There's some things I have to keep to myself. You understand? I mean, it's for your own protection.
Oh, what is this?
Huh? All right. Here. I'm gonna tell you something. But you have to promise not to tell anyone, including your mother. Okay. You remember a long time ago, I was in jail for a little while when you were younger? Okay. Well, some of the men I met in there, they didn't like me very much. You know, and those men are gonna get out of jail one day. When they do, they might come looking for me. So that's why I figured I'd just take some precautions.
What kind of precautions?
Well, you see, honey, these men, you know, they're thieves. They rob people for money. And that's why I figured I'd take these family heirlooms here and bury them under this tree. That way, just in case, if they come looking to steal from me, you know, they won't be able to get their hands on anything too important.
But what if they try to hurt you instead?
Yeah, that's a possibility. And that's why, if the time comes, I'm gonna have to send you, your mom, and your brother and sister away for a little while. That way, you won't have to worry about that.
But what if they try to hurt just you, Dad?
Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself, see?
I can take care of myself too, Dad, see?
I know you can, Vakara. But you see, that's why I need you to stay with your mom and your siblings. I need to know someone can take care of them, too.
But I want to stay with you, Dad. We can do things in shifts. See, you sleep for a while, and I keep watch.
I'm sorry, Celestine. That's just the way it is. Hey. Look, everything we talked about here stays between you and me, all right? Look, I know you are strong enough to handle the truth, okay? But your mom, I mean, you know how she is. She's sensitive. You know, if she knew anything about these men,
She'd probably never let me out of her sight.
yeah.
She'd even put a peephole in the bathroom door or something.
Yes, exactly. Okay? So that's why, if the time comes, I might need to tell your mom a slightly different story. Okay? Make her think I need some space or something like that. But you'll know the truth. Okay? So, can I count on you to keep this between you and me?
Of course.
Yeah? Okay. Hi, girl. Yeah.
When I got into his car, I was glad to have escaped from the snow. My socks were wet because the shoes I was wearing weren't waterproof, and my toes were starting to tingle from the cold. I was sitting in the back seat because he had junk piled in the front. And as we drove, I started to think about how nice everything seemed all of a sudden. Usually I'm just thinking about how boring the city is and of all the places I'd rather be instead. But that night, watching the snow come down and the Christmas lights on the businesses, it all felt so cozy, or even a little magical. So I didn't notice that it was taking longer than it should to reach my house. And then he told me he had to make a quick stop at his place to check on a dog he'd found the night before that was maybe hit by a car. It was a good line too, you know, because I've always wanted a dog, but my parents said there were too much work. So anyway, he invited me inside. And of course I said yes, because I wanted to see the dog too. As we got into the kitchen, he offered me a drink and suggested I take off my coat. I told him I was fine and asked him where the dog was. He said he had her in a room upstairs and he would go get her in a minute. And that's when I started to feel weird. Like maybe I shouldn't have come in there after all. I mean, I was suddenly very aware of the fact that we were alone together. I started looking at pictures on the fridge just to have something to do. But he came up from behind me and wanted to take my coat again. He was already doing it actually, so I let him. I tried to pull away, but he grabbed my arm. And that's when I knew things were gonna get bad. He did it all with his own strength. He didn't have a knife or anything like that. Just a few good punches to the face and a piece of string that he'd used to tie my wrist. Somehow we ended up in a bedroom. Her bedroom. And I'm still fighting. But when he lifts up a lamp of some kind and brings it down on my head, I found out that the old saying is true. Your life really can flash before your eyes. And just like that, 15 years worth of memories went spinning through my brain in the blink of an eye. The funny thing is, as soon as I was dead, something very similar happened again. Only this time it wasn't my life flashing before my eyes, it was his. And I saw very clear how everything in his life and everything in the lives of those before him had all been moving inexorably towards this moment. That's the word people like to use, right? Inexorably. Inexorably. In any case, I laid there for a while until he rolled me up in a piece of carpeting and carried me out of the house and into the garage, where I was set on a tarp for 4 hours while he made everything in the house look clean again. I always did like that house.
Did I wake you? I was in the neighborhood.
No, I was awake.
Mom's probably gonna come out here and yell at me saying, "What the hell are you doing coming in the middle of the night? Have you been drinking?" No.
No, Mom's not here. She's on the night shift now.
And this comes out. So she leaves you here to look after the little guys, huh?
They're not here either. They're at Grandma's today.
Oh, so it's just you and me, kiddo, huh? Yeah. Hey, Vaquera and me, the way it should be, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want some?
No.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dad? Is something wrong?
Something wrong.
Dad. I said, is something wrong?
They got me, kid.
Who does?
They. The abstract they who rule the world and have the means, also known as the police.
The police?
Mm-hmm.
What do they have on you? Did you do something, Dad?
No, I did not. But that's not how they're gonna see it. You know, that trust me, I know these cops, when they have a case that's been unsolved for a while and the public's just jumping down their throat for someone to blame, they're gonna throw the whole book at the first guy they find, no matter how infinitesimal the chances are that he's the guy they're looking for.
Dad, what are you talking about?
I'm the subject of a tip.
A tip?
Yeah, a tip. Come on, a tip. Like, hello, 911. I'd like to report who murdered so-and-so, or in my case, whose car may have been in the vicinity of such and such.
Dad, just get to the point. What?
Murder. They're looking at me for the murder of the woman found in Clutch Park last spring.
What? Why? That's crazy.
I know. But that's where we're at.
Dad, what can I do to help?
What?
This is obviously a mistake. What can I do?
Never mind. I should go. What? Yeah, I should go.
Dad, what are you talking about?
You know, I gotta get this
Dad, stay. That
to
doesn't
work
matter.
tomorrow
Dad, just
morning.
stay. Dad,
No.
why don't you just spend the night? Just stay until the morning. We can figure this out then.
No.
Dad, listen, maybe I can talk to the police. I could be a character witness. Tell them there's no way you'd ever do anything like this. Dad.
I was gonna tell you something. I don't think I can anymore.
Yes, you can. What is it?
I don't want you to think less of me.
Dad. I could never.
You remember a long time ago that You found me in the backyard burying some things, and I told you I was hiding it from some men.
Yeah.
Well, I lied. There were no men. I made it all up.
What? Why?
Because the truth is so much worse. At least it would have been for you. A girl should look up to her mother at that age.
Dad, what are you talking about?
Your mother. There were no men. It was your mother. I mean, I knew she wanted to divorce me. And I knew that if she did, she would paint me as a bad guy and she would just try to take everything from me. Yeah, and she threatened to have me arrested all the time. But and you know, Vaquera, you know the truth, who started most of those fights. I just wasn't strong enough to stand up to her. So that's why I had to take those family heirlooms and I had to bury them, because just in case she succeeded, I would have something to stay afloat. I'm a weak man, and I didn't make your mom happy. And now she's trying to do this. She's using this to get back at me with these tips, saying that it was me who was at the vicinity or the area, or that I was the one to have possibly killed that woman or the other woman. I don't know, maybe even your friend. I'm
Carissa? Dad, that's crazy. She's never even been found. She still might be alive out there somewhere.
I know, Vaquera, I know. But the truth isn't what matters here, okay? What matters is what she's telling them, what she's making them believe, what they will believe. I know. I've been a weak man. And I know you must hate me right now.
I don't hate you, Dad. I could never.
No?
No.
Then maybe there is something you can do for me.
Anything.
If the cops come, I need you to tell them that I was with you the night of April 5th. All night.
Dad, why don't we just tell them that Mom made up the tip because she was mad at you? I'm sure she wouldn't get into much trouble.
No. Listen. Just leave your mom out of this. She hasn't been thinking straight ever since she's had those headaches. I just need you. Tell them I was with you. Hey, you don't have to give me an answer right now. Just, please, Vaquera. Just think about it tonight. For me? Please. Yeah?
Of course.
Thank you. Oh, whoa.
Dad.
I should go, huh?
No, Dad, you shouldn't drive. Why don't you just stay here?
No. Oh, can't spill it.
Or let me call your cab.
No.
Please?
No.
I'll drive your car over to you first thing in the morning, I promise. Yeah? Come on. I can drive now. Yeah. Please.
Hello?
Hi, this is Maya Kloss with the Milwaukee Sentinel. I'm looking for Celestine Whitman.
This is she?
Miss Whitman, I know today is going to be a difficult day for you. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about it for an article I'm writing about your father's case.
Okay.
So today is the day your father's house is being torn down. For many people, this will be a cause for celebration, but what does it mean for you?
It's hard to say. So many bad things happened there. But it's also the place where I grew up. All my childhood memories are there. And a lot of them are good. I don't know what to do with that.
And how would you describe your childhood?
It was normal. Just normal. Like anyone else's, I guess.
And yet, your father has been convicted of murdering 6 women, one of whom, Carissa Duran, was a close friend of yours. Is that correct?
Yes. She was my closest friend.
And the police found that he buried some items he took from these women right in your own backyard.
Yes, he did.
So, tell me, did you ever have any sense that your father was capable of something like this?
No. I never did.
Can you tell me about what your relationship with him was like when you were growing up? Were you close?
Well, he was a hard man to know. But yes, I thought we were. I mean, the truth is, everything I did for him. If he wanted his food a certain way, I made sure he got it like that. And I thought if I could do these certain things or act in certain ways, I could earn his respect in a way that other women never seemed to be able to. But I see now that it was never really going to work. It was all based on a lie. And if I want to walk away, I can. I mean, he's my family, but I don't have to go down with him now.